Hello, welcome everybody to another podcast here at MP3. Thank you for tuning in. We're happy you're here. Appreciate you joining. We're glad you're listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help get the word out for what we're doing here. We are doing the student section, and here we are, chapter 2. Mr. Caleb Santos. We have a local celebrity on our hands. Go follow his at Midway Vibes. He is a TikTok sensation. He is a former student of mine. He is a great person, and we are just very happy to have you here today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. You just left me hanging, dude.
Oh, my bad. What did you push the mic for? No, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I really appreciate you having me on. I definitely want to say thank you for that amazing compliment you gave me in that first video. You had me crying on my way to work, and I had like these happy gratitude tears coming down. I was like, oh man, he's so amazing. So I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me on for sure. And it's cool that you're getting this going, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't. Let's do that again. I never leave you hanging, man. My bad. I had to turn away for a second. That's funny. No, but no, you're welcome. I mean, the mic was so you punched it. It's your mic anyway. So you donated it, so it's like it's all good.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm glad you tuned in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Of course, I had to give you a shout out for not only donating the mic, but as I mentioned in episode 1. So if you haven't checked it out, go tune in with Caleb Dinsman. You and him are a big reason why this is even happening. You got me on your
Caleb
podcast.
Dinsman, shout out Caleb Dinsman.
Yeah.
We get on Spotify.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Caleb Dinsman, Diaries of an Overthinker. His podcast is pretty awesome.
Go check that out.
Episode 2 made me laugh a whole lot. His story he mentions in there references me, so it was kind of funny to hear because I was telling him a story over the phone.
Yeah.
And he's over here sharing what he was thinking, and it was not at all what I thought he was thinking, but it was funny. And I'm a spoiler right here. He was like, man, when he was telling me all this, I just wanted to tell him to shut the I was like, whoa! But I was like, man. So it was some good stuff, though. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so yeah.
Actually, I haven't watched episode 2 yet. But
Okay.
I want to. I have it on my list to do by the end of Sunday.
Yeah, there you go, man.
It's right around the corner.
There you go. You got till tomorrow. Yeah. But no, so we all two are just, you're really, really cool kids. Really, I mean, not even kids
To be
anymore.
honest, I'm gonna be like completely honest. We like never even talked.
Yeah.
I literally thought of this last month of senior year. I was like, I don't know why, but I feel like me and Caleb are gonna become friends out of high school.
There you go.
And we never really texted. I mean, actually, we did text. Matter of fact, like a week after graduation, we texted for a little bit, and then I don't know, we stopped texting, and then that was it. Like that was the end of it. And then randomly, I don't know who texted who, but randomly started talking for a short period of time, and then during the podcast, we started talking again. I'm like, this guy is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel, I definitely believe in manifestation. So I'm like, maybe I manifested this.
Yeah, man. No, that's cool. I mean, he kind of shared the similar experience on the podcast that
Yeah,
y'all are kind of closer now than
Yeah.
y'all were in school, and so that's cool, man. It works out. But yeah, I mean, y'all two just a huge part of this thing going on. I mean, obviously chapter 1, chapter 2,
Double
but
C's.
the Caleb's, yeah. Oh man, but so I mean, it wasn't for you putting me on your podcast and getting me used to what it's like to be on a podcast, and then if it wasn't for him, telling me that hey, it's something I don't, yeah, that's cool, man. So for those of you that don't know, the student section is leaning towards trying to get a student perspective on ways that a teacher can grow. Not necessarily just for me, but for any teacher out there who wants to grow. And so that's kind of the point of this podcast series, the student section. So Caleb Santos, now you're an interesting case, and I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, but interesting because you had experience in a small school, very small school, just like Caleb, same school, but you also had some years in the bigger schools. So I really was wanting to get you in here. I was really intrigued to get you in here because I know you have experiences in both. So we're going to talk more on that later, but I just kind of want to know, what do you got going on for you now, man? What are you up to right now, besides being a local celebrity?
Nah, I wish I was a local celebrity, man. Those are the old days. I got to come back up. I feel like, to be honest, I don't know what I did. Actually, I know exactly what I did. I made some videos that I shouldn't have made, posted them on TikTok. I got shadow banned. Ever since then, my video has been slacking. I get like 300 views a video, and it's just like, but it's all right, because I'm going to start pushing myself back up to the top, and we're going to make it. We're going to make it. Then you can really come to that.
All right, I got you.
But I want to start off by saying thank you for being a teacher. All the teachers out there, appreciate you guys. Just because, like, for y'all do, like, so much work, inner work, outside work, that really impacts the students' life, whether it's long-term or short-term. And it's, like, it's just amazing because we spend more time with you guys, with you, than we do, like, most people. So
Yeah.
appreciate people like you.
Yeah.
And all the people listening, because I'm sure you're trying to learn, and you obviously doing something right. So I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, that's great. I appreciate you shouting out those people, and
Yeah.
shout out to all the other people who work in education, whether you're a paraprofessional, you're a teacher aide, or even the secretaries and the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers. You all it takes a village. So think about a bus driver. You know, most of the students' day starts off with a bus driver. You know,
Yeah.
so so it's cool. But no, that's cool. Definitely shouting out those people doing great stuff, and hopefully hanging in there because it's been tough. So
yeah, definitely. I
um,
really appreciate it for sure.
yeah, no. Well, I mean, see, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you.
Oh, okay. But what I've been up to really is I've been in construction. I've been working construction full time. It's cool. It's not something I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. It's not something like I see myself doing long term, but it's cool. It's definitely something I'm enjoying now, living it up, vibing and thriving.
There you go.
To say the least. But I'm working on some courses for sure, some personal growth, some personal development courses, just because there's just myself. I see myself as like someone who's like kind of overcame some obstacles, and I feel like for the most part I'm living like a life that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously still some parts I'm slacking with, but for the most part, I feel like I've done a pretty good job from bringing myself out from that super dark hole that I was in, and now I'm like here. So I'm really appreciative of that, and I feel like I learned a lot. And there's a lot of people that I talk to that I just see that are going through the same thing I was going through.
Yeah.
And it like sucks to see them going through that. And I know there's some people that they just, and not that they don't want to change, but they don't know how to change, and they feel like it's impossible to change. And I feel like I've been doing a lot of like I guess inner work and like interpersonal growth, and a lot of like studying, and a lot of research for my own. And I've been working on some courses. It's gonna change the game. I'm gonna help a lot of people for sure. Ooh. I'm gonna get that going. I'm gonna have some free courses out for all of you guys, whoever's watching. I'm gonna send you that for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna have some courses that are a little bit more advanced, a little bit more in depth, and a little bit more personal. But if you're willing to change, you're definitely gonna find it with me. So I look forward to having that out here soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That is.
And you can find that at Midway Vibes as well.
There you go. Yeah.
All gonna be branched out under the same thing.
Well, and so what really makes me in awe of you is you are what, 19 years old? 19 years old, talking about personal growth as a young adult, like, man. And I think Coach Johnson shouted you or gave you a compliment on this when you had him on your podcast. Is, you know, the fact that you have this mindset now, like you're just way ahead of the game, man. It's just so awesome.
It's all because of you, man. All because of you, Coach Johnson. All these little people that planted.
Yeah.
Like you said, it takes that village. Like all these people planted these seeds, and helped me be the person I am today.
Well, that's freaking beautiful. Yeah. Hopefully, I look forward to those courses, man.
Yeah.
And when you say change, I mean, what kind of change are you talking about?
Inner change. You gotta, because we have a lot of self beliefs that we tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve love, that we're not worthy of love, that we don't deserve to be alive. Like, and it's sad and it's hard. It's hard to hear, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going through that. More people than we could even imagine. And it's really just a belief and it's a story we tell ourselves. And when you switch that, you can switch everything. You switch your mindset. And you switch your mindset, you can change your whole life. You change your story. You change your life. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that is crazy, beautiful to hear. No, because you're definitely right about that, man. It's so sad to hear. You know how the kind of thoughts that go through people's heads, especially when they're.
I think my thing is like I have thoughts that are pretty bad too, and I'm like I feel like I'm constantly trying to work on myself, and if I'm having these thoughts, I can't even imagine like people who don't work on themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just. And maybe they find something to kind of numb it and not even have to analyze it or think about it. But you know what really is sad is for people who don't not necessarily they don't want to change, but they don't know how.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You know they just don't have.
They don't know how easy. It's not so much that it's easy, but how simple it is.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's very simple. Like how it is very simple. It's almost. I feel like in a way it's kind of like common sense. We just have so many distractions. But once it gets broken down to us, it's kind of like the light switches, and we're just like, oh my god, well, this was here the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to open your perception to it. You have to be open minded because a lot of the times when we need like help, the most help is when we don't want it, when we're stand off to it, and we're like, dude, don't tell me that. Like, I'm good over here. You stay in your lane. I'll stay in my lane. We just won't even bother each other. Yeah. And that's usually how just life goes. That's how our society is kind of taught to just kind of just go however you want. And I feel like that's cool, but like in reality, like what we strive off of is like love. like the soul's food is love, and the way to get love is you connect with people, and it doesn't have to mean an intimate love. It just means that love is a friendship, a connection.
Right.
You can have a love for a business partner. It doesn't mean that you're gonna go out and have maybe you'll have dinner with them, but it's not gonna be like an every day, every week dinner. It's just like we're business partners. I love you as my business partner.
Yeah.
You're my friend. I love you as my friend. You're my partner in life. I love you as my partner in life. Yeah. So it's kind of just like we have to all help each other go live our best life and live it to the top because we're not cliche as it sounds, we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
You're right.
And if you're living a life that you're not happy with, why not so much that why are you living, but why are you living that life when you could be living a life that makes you happy?
No, that is very true. I think for those people who, what about those people who don't know how to love themselves, or don't think they deserve love? I think that's another thing. Yeah, people who are not aware that there is people like you out there willing to help and can help them and want to help them. And just the people who feel like they've been broken or dug so deep in a hole that they feel they can't come out, which, you know, you, like you said, you experienced some stuff. I've experienced some stuff, and, you know, but obviously there's people, like you said, life's kind of like a ladder, right? There's always people above you, always people beneath you. So there's definitely people who've probably gone through a lot more in it. Yeah. And this is not necessarily a question. I'm just kind of asking out loud, how do we get those people who've been through so much to kind of love themselves, to be willing to accept help? Because I think sometimes it's not necessarily that they don't think help is out there. I think they just feel like they're so far gone. And so, but I love that. I think spreading kindness, spreading love. You're right, man, because it's basically life. So it's a life you choose. Like everybody's dealt a hand. Yeah. We're all going to have goods and bads, but it's your mindset, your perspective on how you go through it is how it's going to turn out. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Is that kind of what you're saying, right? Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
It's like the way you perceive life is
right.
What you get. And it has like a lot to do. Like if you change your expectations for appreciations. Yeah. So instead of like expecting like my car to turn on, be like, dude, I'm so glad my car turned on. Yeah. My neighbor's car didn't turn on, and now they're late for work. Yeah. I'm so glad my alarm went off, and now I'm able to wake up on time and not be rushed. Yeah. I'm so glad I even just woke up today because someone didn't wake up.
There you go.
It's like, it's the little things that make such the biggest difference.
No, and see, that's another point I wanted to make. But you're right, man. And you know, just how much do you value your day? You know, because there's a dude on he makes videos and he talks about, you know, if I gave you $10 million right now, would you be happy? Yeah, hell yeah, I'd be happy. Okay. Can anybody do something to ruin your day? And most people are like, oh, no, man, I got $10 million. Yeah. You can't ruin my day no matter what you do to me. He's like, okay, well, what if I told you I would give you $10 million, but you can't wake up tomorrow? Would you still want it? No. Well, yeah, because, you know, like, you value your life more than $10 million is what you're saying. So wake up with that mindset. And I don't know the dude. I apologize if y'all know him, comment down or let me know. I just saw his video.
I've never seen that.
You never seen that?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, man. It was pretty cool, like, to hear that perspective. You know, people like, it's like something clicks in their head, like, oh crap, yeah, my life is worth that much. It is that valuable. But yeah, so even just waking up, even though you might be tired, you didn't get that much sleep, but man, at least you woke up. So I definitely think, and I think it depends on your life experiences.
It's a lot. Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, for sure.
To value it.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier said than done.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely like even myself. Like I struggle. Like, dude, I'm trying to like practice. But like there's like days where I'm just like I don't even feel like doing it sometimes. Like, dude, it's not that I don't want to be grateful. It's just like maybe I'm having like a bad day. Yeah. Or not even a bad day, just like a bad 5 minutes, and I literally turn into a bad 10 minutes, and a bad hour, and then I'm just like in my head, so it's just like bad day. Yeah. But it really should have just been like a bad 5 minutes. Right. But it's like I just let it take over, and then it's kind of just like why? Like why? I kind of start questioning myself, self-doubt, like that self-negative talk in a way. Yeah. And then it's kind of just like. I don't need to be grateful for anything. I'm just here. I'm having a bad day. And so it's definitely a lot easier said than done. But when you make those little changes, it's like the little changes that go the long way. Because it's like, you're the one who's holding this metaphor. Like when you go up the ladder, you can't take a ladder and like have ginormous reach because then you have to like use all this arm strength and you only get up a couple. Yeah. Or you'd be super tired. You have to have little baby steps to get you to the very top. Yeah. No, that's good. It's funny because I actually had a student who mentioned that and she's been through a lot in her life, and for her to have that mindset, like it's like she basically was self-aware of what she was doing. Like, you know, she shuts down or she gets mad, she screams, and it was like she even said it's not because of what necessarily that what you're doing. It's just of what you do, how it makes me feel based on what she's been through. Yeah. So and it ruins her day, kind of thing. So it's I definitely think it's a
piece to kind of focus on is how do we, okay, I'm going to be mad about it for 5 minutes. I'm going to, cuss. I'm going to yell. I'm going to be, cry, whatever you got to do. And after that 5 minutes, because you can't control it, after that 5 minutes, life goes on. And you just got to keep going. So, that's good stuff, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. What was your most memorable moment in your entire school career? If you got more than one, that's fine. But if you can narrow it down to one or two, what would be your most memorable moments?
It would definitely be sports. Top one is definitely sports.
Okay.
It doesn't even have to be narrowed down to any particular year, any particular anything, because like every sports year was so unique, whether it was with the same people or a different coach or a different school. It was so unique and driven, and it had like a major impact on my life just because of the coaches, the students, all the interactions. So I'll definitely say that is like moment one. It's just like with sports in general overall.
Yeah.
And then two, I think I would say like just meeting people, like especially like not so much people because I didn't really meet people. Because like I still don't really meet people. Like I like to talk, but I won't talk to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So like I didn't really talk. I'm more of a listener. I enjoy listening. I like enjoy listening. So I didn't talk to a lot of people, but I like talking to teachers. And people would tell me to talk to the teachers when I'm doing work. So it was cool. Like I like doing it. But I kind of wish like there was like a way I could contact some of the teachers. And like I've tried emailing them, and either they're like they're not at the school, or they're just like I don't know if the email doesn't go through or what. Yeah. But it's cool. That's cool. But those are definitely some of my memorable moments. Sports and like meeting teachers, because like teachers had a major impact on my life.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's hard to get back in touch with a teacher, especially. I mean, a lot of them, may not be on social media. Or they're under an alias or something because they can't have like the current student. Yeah. So, well, that's cool though that you say that. Now, sports and talking with teachers, your top two or memorable moments, not star test, not academic. No, I'm just letting people know. Like this is what the student values here. He values.
I mean, it was cool.
Extracurricular.
It was cool learning, but I feel like I didn't like learning in school. I like learning now. Like I like learning about things that I want to learn. That was one of the biggest breakthroughs I learned out of high school. I like learning. I don't like learning things that people are trying to force me to learn. I like, because I remember during history, I love learning history, and I'd be up in the books, I'd be reading, I'd be like, turning the page, doing my work, I'd be having fun. Yeah. But like, you put me in math class, I'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
how was your math teacher?
Yeah. you broke it down for me, but like, when you'd be on the board, I'd be so confused.
No, I got you, man. And that's kind of my point. Like, and I think a lot of students may not get along with the teachers, whatever. We don't have a say in.
To be honest, I never got along with any of my teachers when I saw them as a teacher. Like if I viewed them as someone that they were going to teach me, and they were like, not so much because I obviously had a respect for them, but like as a higher authority, and they kind of looked down on me. Like if I looked at him in that sense, I couldn't really like learn from him or connect to him. Yeah. But if I looked to him as a person, as someone I wanted to get to know, I learned from him. Not only like did we have a better connection, but I learned from him a lot easier. Yeah. So I started doing that, and I think that's why I was able to talk to teachers throughout the class, because we talked outside of class occasionally.
Okay, so you build a rapport with them.
Yeah, I didn't know I was doing that at the time. Now looking back, I'm like, hey, I was doing some pretty cool stuff.
Well, I mean, when you start treating a teacher like a human being, I think they open up to you more, and because there's certain students who know me on a different level than others.
I don't want to say his name, but there was an English teacher. Like, no one liked it. Everyone told me about it when I was moving back there. Like, dude, I hate this guy. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, how can you, like, not like this teacher so much? Like, I heard so much stories about him. First day in the locker room, everyone was telling me about him. I was like, dude, I can't wait to meet this guy. Like, he's going to be crazy. He's going to be off the wall. I was like, I already, like, the way they were painting the picture of him, I was like, he's going to be crazy. Like, he's going to be, like, a worst nightmare. Yeah. And I saw him, he's, like, this small guy. He looked super innocent. And I was just like, what's up? I was like, good morning. Because it was morning. I was like, good morning. I was like, told him. And like, he kind of didn't talk to me at first. He was kind of like, he kind of saw me as like a student. And it was like the first week, like we were kind of just like, we didn't really talk, but I was like persistent. I was like, good morning. And I would say his name and I'd be like, how's your morning? He'd be super quiet. He'd be like, it's going. And he'd like say something. And then like somewhere around week 2, like, I don't know, we just shifted. And like we started talking, and then after that, we just like randomly talked. And he was a pretty cool guy. He was actually really cool.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. He was. Yeah,
I wanted to get a hold of him, but I found actually I wasn't Facebook stalking him, but you know how there's the people where it says people you may know, and I seen him and I wanted to like press it, but I was like hesitant, and then I've never seen him again, and I don't even remember his first name.
Yeah, you should hit him up, man. I'll let you know his first name after the podcast.
Okay,
But
cool.
no, he actually works in the same district I do now.
Yeah.
So I ran into him last summer, and it was pretty cool to catch up with him. But that's cool, man. I think what the problem is that students, and I know some students, trust issues, whatever, but it would be so cool if students can actually just go in, like, and if teachers could too. I think there's just so much focus on the
Yes.
content and testing, and it's hard for them to really dive deep. Some teachers are great at it. I mean, so it is what it is. That's not something they kind of, your number one priority is making sure, you can, establish rapport with all your students. Nobody's telling you that. So, as a teacher, but that's cool. I'm glad you vibed with that teacher. That's cool, man. I like that you had that mindset where, you kind of give everybody a chance and let's see who they are.
I feel like you gotta give everyone a chance.
Oh yeah,
you gotta give them. I feel like this is my thing. I give them minimum 3 chances because I was giving them way more than 3 chances. But that's just my personal thing, and I usually give more than 3 chances. But like 3 chances when I start getting a little bit skeptical.
Okay. What's up with the number 3? Just
not just because like 3 strikes, baseball.
Okay.
I play baseball, so it kind of like made sense to me.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. 3 strikes, you're out. I get you. I get the reference. All right. Well, kind of like going on the same direction, but so obviously you've already mentioned you've had some great teachers, some teachers you really got along with, who kind of helped paint you out to be the person you are today. What was it about them that made them great?
They stopped teaching, and they were, like you said, they were themselves. Because I think for sure, like, it was like definitely with you, with like coaches, like they stopped worrying about just like tests, just the curriculum, just the sport, and they like reached out, not so much reached out to you, but they connected with you, made sure you were okay. And obviously, if it was directed for a class, they would make sure you're okay in the class. But it's the way they support you through the class and the way they make their efforts to teach you. But I don't know, because not that I don't know, because I know that that's like true. But I feel like it varies different people, because like a lot of people see like life differently. You know what I mean? Like we all have our ways to perceive love, and that's like how we that's how we process everything. That's how we feel a connection and everything.
Yeah.
And there's like the 5. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, like the 5 love languages. And it's like touch, connection, acts of service. And there's 2 more, but I forgot.
Okay.
There's a book about it. It's by Gary Chapman. You should read it. It's legit. It's more for relationships, but you can type it, whatever. It's pretty legit. So I think it all just depends and varies on each student, but that's definitely my opinion.
Yeah. So going back to that relationship is very important. And just how, I love that. That's good. And see, I think the problem is when people hear the term relationship and they immediately think couple or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so much deeper. It's so much more.
That's my thing too. Like I think I hear relationships and I automatically think like couple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like I have like a little course where it's titled relationships, but it's not relationships.
Yeah.
Like it's like relationships, like a relationship with me and you. Like we're connected, but we're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like that. I feel like that throws everything else, because we have a narrative for relationships. And like, oftentimes, like in this, I'd say like this generation, like our relationships aren't exactly where it used to be, and it's like a lot of fake things because of social media. Like we have an expectation that's not really standard. Like it's standard if you're on that level, but you don't just start off on that level.
Right. No, for sure. You gotta earn your stripes.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Okay. So, big school or small school? Which one?
Yeah.
Why? And which one's better? Which one's worse? Or even not even that. Just which one do you feel you thrived in more, and why?
I was actually just talking to someone I met the other day, where he asked me, he was like, "Where'd you graduate from?" And I was like, "Man, I didn't even know this is how I felt until he asked me." I guess no one had really asked me recently, and then I told him, I was like, "So I'm gonna tell you now."
Yeah.
I went San Marcos, like all of my life, San Marcos, elementary, middle school, and then I moved from San Marcos to Prairie Lee, and it was like a super small school. And I was like, "Dude, I don't like this. Like this is so small.
Yeah.
It's not my vibe. This is not it." And I was like, "I need to go back. I'm gonna go back to San Marcos, and I'm gonna play baseball."
Okay.
Like, cause there was no baseball in like a small school. There was barely a football team. It was like a 6-man football team.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna go back to San Marcos. I went back, and it was cool. Like don't like it was nice, but it wasn't how it was like when I left. Like, I don't know if it was just like where I was at in life. It probably was has a lot to do with that.
Mm.
But I was just there, and it's just like it was so much bigger, and having that small environment and like the connections with like the teachers and the students and like everyone just like in a small school, like you just feel so connected with
Yeah.
everyone. And like in that big school, you were just like another person,
Mm.
and it was kind of just like it's cool, but like I don't know how much I like this. I think I like the small school better. So that's when I transferred back to Prairie League. And there was some not obvious, but there was like some situations in between where like wasn't forced to move back to Prairie League. Like it was all of my choice, but there was like some what is it called?
Obstacles.
I guess obstacles.
Adversity. I don't know.
Adversity. What is it guys?
So, I don't know. What do you? I know what you're talking
I
about.
wish you
But
could, like,
I don't know.
read my
I don't know the word you're thinking of.
Oh, disciplinary action.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was like some disciplinary actions through the time, and since I didn't live like in the district, like it was questionable if I could like return to San Marcos. But like they let me back in. Like I talked to the principal and they're like, "Dude, come back in." And I was like, "Okay, thanks, but I'm out. I'm going to Prairie League." And then I graduated from Prairie League, and it was definitely I'd say school was one of the best things I've done.
Yeah.
Much. I'm very glad I graduated from Prairie League than I did San Marcos, but maybe I'd say the same thing if I did the other way around.
Well,
But I'm very happy with my decision that I made graduating from Prairie League.
and maybe that was the path for you. No, but I mean, because I graduated from St. Mark's High School, and it was, it was such a big class, and I mean, the connection. When I first started working at Prairie League, and I saw how small the school and the small school feel, I was like, man, this is freaking awesome. Like, I wish I could have gone to school. I didn't even know that school existed, man.
Yeah, you sneeze and you miss the school.
Oh yeah, man, you drive right through it. So no, that's pretty cool to hear, and I think there's advantages and disadvantages to both. But a lot of students nowadays are at these big schools, and I feel like they can get swept under the rug, and that's not a good thing. So, when you were at San Marcos at a bigger school, did you feel that you had a sense of belonging? Like, did you feel like you belonged there?
Yeah, I feel like one with the community, like not so much community, but like the Rattler like connection.
Yeah,
but I didn't feel like I belonged, but that was just because like I didn't feel like I belonged within myself. So I feel like that had a lot to do with it. But I feel like I was very much so connected with like the Rattler community and the school community. But I just didn't feel like a true connection because I wasn't like connected with myself, and I just felt like I didn't belong.
So how could a big school, or any school for that matter, get a kid who is one of those kids who's probably not involved for whatever reason, and just maybe doesn't have a sense of belonging? How do you think, as a student, how do you think we can get some of these students to feel more like they have a sense of belonging to the school and community? What do you think we could do?
So I feel like for one, in order for you to connect with them, and like not even so much like if you want to connect with them on a personal level or like deeper than school, like if you want to connect with them to teach them, because they obviously have to have some sort of connection with them for you to teach them or for them to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have to stop you have to stop judging because you can't connect with someone that you're judging or you're thinking, and it's hard to do. Like you can't. It's hard to do, but you have to just put all that aside, and just be like, what's going on? Like, and it doesn't even matter. Like they might tell you some crazy stuff, but like don't like obviously if it's crazy enough, like you should get some help with it. Right. But like don't judge it at the moment because like that's like one of the biggest things. Like you wanna go somewhere where you don't feel judged. And right. When you don't feel judged, you feel like you can be true. You can say what you're truly feeling, and like to get that off your chest alone, it does amazing work. But like to have someone that you told to and they could like talk to you, help you do it, makes it like even so much more. So I think it's just not so much judging them or like basing them. Like, I don't even know because like, each one's different. You know what I mean? So it's like just like in a way accepting them for who they are and just be like, what are you doing and how can I teach you in your way? Because like everyone, we're all alike. We're all very similar, but we all are unique in our own ways. Like we're very similar. We may both like football, baseball, soccer, whatever. We may both like something, but you may like a different team. You like the Cowboys and I like the Raiders. We both like football, but it's something that makes us different. Right. And it's just little things like that.
Okay. So when I was in middle school or junior high, at Goodnight, my principal was Mr. Dow.
Yeah, he was my principal too.
Awesome guy. He was just an awesome person. And He's scared.
Not anymore, but he was scared me. I'd be scared when I was in 6th and 7th grade.
Man,
It's huge.
I had some of my students who, when I taught in San Marcos, I had some of my students who, because he had retired at that point already.
He retired, and then I was like, I'm never gonna see him again. And then one day I saw him at the high school. I was like, dude, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Well, he was subbing some after he retired and stuff. But the cool thing was some of those kids were still talking about him. Like, oh, he was awesome. He was great. And now he was scary. He was scary. I remember because my brother was 2 years older than me. He went through Goodnight before I did, so I was already painting a picture of who he was.
Yeah.
And I go in, and I didn't have any interaction with Mr. Dow until I met his son. And his son and I actually became pretty close friends in middle school. And, so I would go over to his house. I would see Mr. Dow at home and his home life and stuff like that. So it's like I got to know him more on a personal level, so that was pretty cool. Anyways, I'm bringing him up. Why am I bringing him up? Because when I was at his school, and I don't know if this is something he started the narrative for, but I'm not sure if they do it at all anymore, but they did what was called Champs Day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's basically...
I think they do it. Yeah. I was driving down one day on a Friday.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of kids on the field.
Really?
And it was around, like, Champs Day hours.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, like, no PE class. It was, like half of the class.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was really cool because basically, as long as you didn't have any disciplinary problems, I believe, and you were passing everything, basically the whole...
You get to celebrate.
Right. You get to... And it's how do you celebrate? Well, if you want to be in the basketball court, you're in the basketball court. You want to be in the football field, you're in the football field. They had a dance room in the other gym. They had all. They had
the gym was like volleyball.
Yeah, yeah. They had everything. Every interest, I think. They even had a game room, like to play video games. They had movies, everything you can think of, art room. And I think that was, and I think we talked about this on your podcast. But I think that's just a really cool thing, and that's a cool kind of a way to get that sense of belonging, the sense of having students with the same interests, right? Because maybe that kid's in anime. They do an anime thing, and they can do, So maybe doing that, or even just like a club or something. But I think the important part was that was within the school day.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you had to get picked up after school. It wasn't like you had to be there early. It was within the school day. Everybody got to participate as long as you didn't, have any issues or you didn't want any trouble or nothing. But so I don't know how they were able to do that within an academic day. But if that's something that all schools can do, why aren't we doing that? Let everybody have a sense of belonging. Let them all have a friend group. Let them all do their own interests for a little bit during the school day. Because you're right. You interact with teachers, right? And then teachers have interests too. Like, what if I want to be, out there on the field with y'all or in the gym?
I would be, not like ever in the good night or anything, but when I was in my alternative school, those teachers would be throwing down on the basketball court. Yeah,
that'd be cool. I mean, and even...
I definitely feel like playing basketball with them, you build that deeper connection with them.
Yeah,
and you'd be talking about it in class. You'd be like, they'd be like, Cardone over there with that layup. It would be wild because we would be talking about it in class, and it was like just that connection that you had with them. And it was like if there ever was like an altercation or where they didn't exactly agree on it, they were able to look past it because they had we're gonna play basketball tomorrow either way.
Yeah, I think, and I know it's hard because again they're drilling the test, drilling the importance of tests and tests and tests and tests and. So for a teacher, you're already overwhelmed. You're sweating scores, this and that. But if you allow this to happen, then those teachers, hey, I can go for the next 2 hours. I can go be in the gym. I can go be in the anime club or the anime room. I can go watch this with them or talk about it. So then you can start seeing those teachers like you do as human beings. Oh, he has some of my interests. He has interest in art or dance or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool thing, and you get to have those interactions. But, I think a lot of people who play sports, I don't think they really see it because they get to have those interactions because their coaches are obviously sharing the interest of the sport with them, and they get to see them on that deep level. But for the kid in the back of the room who doesn't have, anything that they're in because there's nothing there that interests them, how do you do that? How do you get through how do they get connected with the teacher who does have the same interests that they have? Just food for thought. I think that's pretty cool.
That is a good question. That's a question to ponder on.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's not question it. Let's do it. let's move it into action. But I don't know. I don't know how you make that happen. I don't know.
I would definitely say for starters, if you know what influences them already, try to take an aspect of that. So if it's say it's anime, be we're gonna take not so much make it an anime list, but in a way make it an anime list. Find something that influences them and influence them with that.
Yeah.
And that opens the door.
I tell you what, if I can find like an Attack on Titan Algebra 2 lesson, I'm gonna use it. That's gonna be
your own. Just,
or make my own. There you go.
Just put an Attack on Titan person.
There you go. That's how you make it. Now, and see, yeah, it's hard to do.
It is a lot harder to do.
Yeah, it really is, especially if you got different preps or you teach more than one class. But a lot of teachers, a lot of really great teachers do that, and they have different interests, and so it's cool. And you're probably not going to get a deep connection with all of your teachers, but if you can at least get one, that's a win. So I definitely think most teachers have that in mind, trying to get through to those students, especially if they can really connect with them because they have something in common. But no, that would definitely be cool. And I think I had a kid, and I wasn't really into anime, and so I started. I'm the girl I'm with, Isabel, my fiance. The girl I'm with. I'm gonna edit that out. She's gonna get mad. No. So she was the one who got me watching stuff that I would never have watched. I've watched a K-drama now, and I've watched.
I've had friends put me on stuff that I'd never even imagined doing.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, it's pretty cool.
It's different. But so I started watching Attack on Titan, and I had some students who came to me recently this school year, and they watched it. So it was kind of cool. Like I was talking to one like every week, kind of. Oh, did you watch the episode this week? Oh, yeah, it's crazy, right? Wow, yeah. And then I can go switch topics and talk to another student. Hey, you watched? I have a kid in class. He's already done. He graduated now, but man, he would talk basketball for hours and days beyond days.
Yeah.
Who's the GOAT? Who would you? He would have these scenarios, man. If you could pick between these 3 all-time Lakers versus these 3 all-time Bulls, I'm just like, man, that's like there's really no wrong answer, but he would have his argument for every single one. So it was cool, you get to see them in their realm and outside the math world or whatever it is you're teaching. So, but I definitely I hear what you're saying. I definitely think it's an important thing, important aspect of the job. Do you have and you have a younger sister who's still in the education. Now she's homeschooled, but for any other student who's still in school, it doesn't matter what age group. Any words of advice for them?
Yeah, do what makes you happy. And I know it's a lot hard. It's hard to process that because it's hard for me to process that, and I'm not. It's just hard to process. I feel like in general, but I'd say and give your teacher a chance. Give people a chance for sure because like it's a whole different world when you graduate. And it's like it's better, but it's like not better. It's like you know what I mean. Like I wish I had like a group of people I could just go talk to like every day. Like and like it changes. Not so much that it changes, but like there's like more of a variety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I mean, I guess you get that at work, but at the same time, it's like the same people.
Yeah.
And it's I would say take advantage of the people you can like meet because you never know who that person is going to become. I'd definitely say that. Take advantage of the people you meet. Learn, even though it's like you're probably learning stuff you don't want to learn because then if you don't learn it, you're going to be stuck and take tests over and over again. Then you're just going to be wasting time that you could be out here in the real world. Yeah. So I would definitely say learn everything you can, whether it's based off of school or it's based off of life or whatever it is. I definitely say learn and take advantage of the people, the resources, everything.
Yeah, I like that, man. I think a lot of people don't understand the resources that they have available to them, depending on what district you're in and stuff. But there's stuff that I found that our district offers to students, and I don't think my students even have a clue about. And why not?
There's a lot of schools that offer like counseling. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. I like that for advice for students. Yes. I like that. Let's go. Okay. So throughout your school career, now obviously you've had ups and downs. But what would you say, and you don't have to, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to share exactly the exact, you don't have to go in detail.
Nah, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable saying whatever.
What was your biggest obstacle or need that you had, whether that was personally or academically, or just what was your biggest struggle that you had throughout your entire school career? How did you manage it? Was there anybody there that helped you? Or is there a way they couldn't help?
We're about to get real deep, man.
Let's go.
Definitely. I feel like something I still struggle with now is just like this is one of this person, like who am I? Like who am I to be living the life that I'm living? Like who am I to? And it's like a story I tell myself. Like who am I to actually be here? Who am I? Not so much like to be alive, but who am I to be living in this situation? Who am I to be making this decision? Like, who am I, basically? And I feel like it's something I struggled with a lot during high school, and it was like I was trying to find things to help me find that, or like I guess identify as, or I don't know. I was just like way more lost than I could ever even imagine or describe. It's just kind of just like weird time where I was going through hard things. I lost my grandpa, who was someone I was like super close to. It was basically like my father figure, so I like lost her. I started doing like crazy drugs, acting wild. I was just at a bad time, you know. I got into some trouble. I got arrested, and then that was definitely a time where I was questioning myself, like, who am I? What am I gonna do with my life? What, like, I can't live my life like this. I don't want to live my life like this.
Yeah.
And then that was something like personally, and I still struggle with that, not to that so much extent, but it's more of who am I, and who now I kind of know who I am, but it's more of who do I have to be to become the person that I want to be. So I feel like it's still something I struggle with. I still ask myself that almost every day, like, who am I? But now I have like a follow up question. I'm like, who do I need to be the person? Like, who do I need to be to become the person that I want to be? And it's a hard question, but I like it. I like it because it challenges myself. And I didn't like challenges, but I kind of like them now. Actually, I enjoy it, to be honest. Because I don't like them in the moment, and I'm like, I can't wait for this to be over. But now I go through challenges, and it's like I know that whenever this is over, I'm gonna learn so much because I'm only like a week in, and I feel like I'm suffering, and I've learned so much in this week. And it's like I think that was one of the hardest things to learn out of high school. Like I had, like it was just like you have to work on yourself. Like no one's gonna be there to tell you you got to do something. Like if you want something, you have to do it yourself. Like no one's gonna be out there telling you the way it is. Like in school, like you tell me, you'd be like, hey, we got an assignment coming up on Friday. You need to turn it in.
Yeah.
I don't turn it in on Friday. You tell me, hey, we have an assignment due on Friday. You need to turn it in. It's Monday already. Mm-hmm. Monday comes by, I don't turn it in. Tuesday, you tell me, you're a lenient teacher. You're like, hey, I need that paper. Mm-hmm. It's still nothing. You're like, hey, I still need that paper. And then it's kind of, you're just like begging me, and then finally I'll be like, all right, I'll do it. And then it's kind of just like that, and like, you can do that in school, but when you get into the real world, like, no one's telling you that. You're just like, if you don't do it, you don't do it. Like, it doesn't really matter to them. And then, in a way, it's kind of like harsh, especially like if you don't have anyone, like supportive parents, supportive friends. It's super hard to have, like, to go through that, but it's, in a way, it's like basically the sad truth that everyone lives through, like a life that we're just, no one's going to tell you what to do. No one's going to push you to be the best version of you. You have to want that for yourself. So I would definitely say knowing who I am, for sure, was one of the struggles, personal struggles that I struggled with. Yeah. And it still is, but I feel like now it's, I like ask myself the question, it's not so much a struggle, it's kind of leading me. I kind of like, instead of letting it take over me, I kind of take over it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And I would say academically, it was just like my mindset, just telling myself like I couldn't learn. I really did have trouble. I had a lot of trouble learning. I feel like I would have to read stuff over and over, and it just didn't make sense. So I don't know if there was like I had like a learning disability, but I was even now like I wouldn't go get tested. I'm like too, I guess not confident, but like I don't know what the word is.
Prideful.
Yeah, I don't want to be told that. I'll be like I graduated without even knowing. Like I'm cool. But at the same time, I feel like it would be useful to know because I could like kind of benefit from it. Like I could learn like, oh, if I have this, I already know. But I feel like I've done like a little bit of personal research, and like there's nothing really too drastic. So I'm like, maybe I'm just a slow learner.
Hey, yeah, man. Yeah. It's just, as long as you finish the race.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long it takes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think everything you were talking basically was revolving around perspective. Your perspective. Definitely. As who you are as a person, what you go through, perspective of can I learn this? Not that I can't learn this, am I going to allow myself to learn this? I think, you know, and everybody says the mind is a powerful tool, right? Well, if you use it, you know, and how you use it. You tell yourself you're not going to learn algebra, and I guarantee you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know who said it, but there's a quote that says, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can.
If you believe you can, you're right. Yeah. And if you believe you can't, you're right. Yeah, either way, you're right. Yeah. I remember that quote. I don't know who said it either, but I do know the quote.
I actually heard Will Smith say it on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and what that goes back to is, again,
your mindset.
Yeah. And there's something called self-fulfilling prophecy. Mm-hmm. So
have you heard of the book? It's super old, but Like a Man Thinketh.
No.
It's I don't know who wrote it, I forgot, but it's a really good book. I'd highly suggest it. Like a Man Thinketh.
Okay.
It's on YouTube for free. Matter of fact, I heard the audio back. It's
Nice.
like it's only 4 hours.
Cool. So yeah, I think that's the challenge though. Is how do you get someone to have the right mindset and believe they can do something? Because I do think our minds are strong enough. Now, obviously, some people do have some disadvantages, maybe some mental disabilities, whatever whatever they have. So definitely not. It's not a level playing field by any means. But I think a lot of us are more capable than we think we are, and it just has a lot to do with what are we telling ourselves. Yeah, we tell ourselves we can do something enough times, we can do it. But getting that mindset's a hard thing to do, and staying in that mindset's even harder to do. So,
yeah, definitely. I feel like I struggle with that too. I actually have. So you know how there's I don't know what is it called when you kind of like chant? It's not like you kind of tell yourself over and over. Affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what affirmations are?
Yeah.
Like kind of where you just tell yourself something over and over.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's incantations, and I do incantations, and it's more of just you get more in depth into it, and you're like shouting, and you do different monotones, and you do it kind of like maybe you'll do one yelling and super pumped up like you're about to run to the field and bang someone's head out.
Yeah.
And maybe you do the next one like someone's right in front of you, and you're being super intimate with them, and you're about to like you're just having a connection with them.
Yeah.
And you just change it up, and you like make it go through your body, and your body starts believing in it, and you like change it up. But I've done one for over a year. Like I've only had one consistent one, and this is it. And I tell myself almost every day, at least 20 times. I tell myself I'm fucking unstoppable. I'm sorry for
no, yeah, you're good.
I forgot. I just tell myself that every day. I just tell myself that, and then I like do it like in the mornings. I usually do it pretty quiet, just like kind of chill. And then throughout the day, like when I'm working out, I'll just tell myself that. And sometimes it's not even loud. Like it's literally in my head.
Yeah.
Like, but when I first started, I was literally shouting or like doing it quietly. But now I'm like to the point where I can just say it like in my head, and I kind of like feel it on my body. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And I recently started a new one like the past 2 months, and I've been doing like a lot more research and studying and personal growth just because I feel like if I want to provide for you and other people something, I got to be at my peak performance, and I can't be at my peak performance if I'm not like constantly working on myself. So one thing that I'm like, I really want to like, I want it like for myself because I like helping people. Like it makes me feel good when I help someone, but it's also just like I want to help you so you can feel good. Like if we never see each other again, like I hope that's not with us, but like if we never see each other again, that's totally cool. I want you to live your best life, doing whatever that makes you feel.
Yeah.
So it's you. In order to do that, I feel like I have to put your needs in front of my needs in a way. And when doing that, you just like become. I totally forgot where I was going with this, but whenever you do this, you build a rapport, and it's also just. What was your original question?
Don't worry about it. Just keep talking.
Whenever you build that, like you build this rapport with someone because you like basically stop worrying about your needs. Like you stop worrying about I don't even know to be honest, but like you just stop worrying about your needs and you like start worrying about their needs, and you turn what they're wanting and needs into like you start valuing them, and then they see that you genuinely care for them.
I don't know how this related to the question I asked you, but I didn't want you to stop talking. I'm not even gonna mention it because I don't care. I don't care, man. This is hearing what you have to share, and I follow him right now, man. He's 19 years old. You have a better mindset than I have. Sometimes you amaze me because some things you talk about and you think about, I'm like, man, I'm 10 years older than you, and sometimes I don't have that mindset. Sometimes I don't even think that deep, and it's like, I wish I did. And so, man, it's a beautiful thing. So keep on going with that, and don't be afraid to just sometimes talk out of the question or whatever, man, because sometimes we just need to hear it. So. No, I think, and you kind of mentioned, putting other needs, and I think that's what a lot of teachers do. They put the student needs in front of theirs, but it's also important you got to take care of yourself because
very much
if you're not presenting your best self, you can't help anyone. How can I help you if I can't help myself? Right.
Exactly that.
So another thing is I wanted to say is you mentioned this earlier about kind of an obstacle in your mindset. So again, you were talking about your mindset. That's where you went with this. Mindset in school, mindset in academics and everything. But, how do we get ourselves in this mindset of telling us we can do something? I think being around people, the people you're around, it has a big
I remember what I was
part of it. Go ahead.
So the incantation, because that's what I was saying. I'm trying to be at my peak performance in order to give you my peak performance. And I have to be like, put your needs in front of my needs. And I feel like in a way to doing that, like I have to connect with you.
Yeah.
And I very much so believe that our mind and body and soul, and like our heart, like we're not connected. We're all out of line because we have all these distractions. But they can be connected through meditation, through prayer, through time to yourself, through calming down, through just being in yourself. And I feel like if you do that, like if you calm down and you connect with yourself, whether that's through your breathing techniques, through meditation, through prayer, whatever you feel connects your body together, it's like it leads it together, and that's when you're at your peak performance because everything is aligned. And when everything's aligned, it all works out. Like everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
And so I've been telling myself, I now command my mind, body, and soul to intertwine so I can connect and share my best insight and knowledge. And I've started. When I first started, it was super hard. Actually, I did an exercise because I did this course with Tony Robbins. I know you've heard about it. I don't know if you guys have heard about him. If you haven't, go check him out. He's legit. Change your life forever. No questions asked.
So Tony, if you're listening, man,
I hope one day I can like meet him. One day I'm like, he's super tall. I heard he's like ginormous.
Yeah, he looks weird.
Yeah. He's super weird, but I wonder what he smells like.
What?
I wonder what people smell like. Like not even like on some weird stuff. Like I just wonder what people smell like. Because there's some people and I'm like, I feel like you smell really good, and there's some people I look at and I'm like, I feel like you must be.
Oh man, well, that's random.
Yeah, that is pretty random.
But okay, thanks for sharing. But
yeah, but anyway, so yeah, you go check him out if you haven't checked him out for sure.
Man,
my mind's going too fast. I've been forgetting what I was saying.
Oh man, that's funny. Gosh.
Oh yeah, so I tell rewind. I remember. So I tell myself that, and I started telling myself that, and it was really hard. So I'd done the courses.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remind myself like where I left off. I did this course, and he did this exercise. And he was like, you gotta tell yourself something like you tell yourself like a story, and it's usually something bad, like I'm not worth it, or I don't deserve this, or whatever story it is you tell yourself. We all have different stories,
right?
But we tell ourselves this, and he's like, now you have to replace it. He's like, he does a simple one, like a simple replacement that's super simple, and you can just like it's usually the opposite of what the story you tell yourself. So it's like if you tell yourself I'm not worth it, you're like I am worth it, and I am full of abundance, and my life is growing. And you just kind of like make it more beautiful, make it pop to yourself, you know. We did that one, and then he was like, okay, now we have to do like an incantation, something that's just going to bring you to a performance where you're just like feel incredible. And I'd had my original one that I've been doing for a year. So every time we did this exercise, because I'd done it like 4 times with him, I just kept the same one. I was like, I'm going to keep the same one. It works. It's totally cool. And then I recently started doing like the podcast for one, but then like my courses, and I realized I was like, I need more than just these 3 little words. But I did the exercise and nothing came to me. And I was really bummed out, to be honest. I was like, dude, I was really focusing on this exercise and nothing came to me. Like I was drawing blanks. One day I was awake and that first part came to me. I was like, he says I now command, but I never could get the rest. I was like, I now command. And I was like, what do I even say? I now command what? I was like, I now command myself. I was like, I don't like it. Like everything I was putting together, I just didn't like. I was like, this isn't me. And then I woke up one morning, I was going to work, it was like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I was just walking, I was walking outside, I had my bag, and I was just walking out the door, and it came to me, I now command my mind, body, and soul. I was like, oh dang, where'd that come from? And then I was like half asleep, I put my boots on, I just continued with my day. I was just like, that was cool. I just continued going. And then the next day, I was in my room, and I was doing some work, and I was like, it came to me again, I was like, I now command my mind, body, and soul. I wonder what that means. I was like, and then I believe like our unconscious mind will tell us things that we need, that if we're not like, if there's too many distractions, it'll just like kind of throw it out there. And it's like our duty to catch it. So I was like, I wonder what that means. So I wasn't doing anything. I was just doing my coursework, and that's basically my me time. So I was just like, I don't got anything to do. I'm going to focus on it right now. And I was like, I now command my mind, body, and soul to what? What I want to do? I want to connect. And I was like, I want to share my best insight, because that's just like insight through life. It's just like amazing because we can all share our insight and learn from it. And I was like, wisdom, because like I feel like that you just learn a lot from wisdom. And I was like, it just fits perfectly. And I feel like that's what I've been going with recently, so it's pretty cool.
That's the vibe you bring, man.
Yes. I was actually chanting it in my car on the way over here.
There you go.
Yeah.
And all you great people get to experience it.
Yeah,
That's awesome,
sure.
man. So that's good though. And I think, a lot of people, and I know you
Back
said,
to your original question.
no. I know you said it was simple, and
Yeah, it's
just
simple, but it's not easy.
Right. I think
It's very
that's
much
the
so not easy.
that's the key thing is that
Yeah.
people think, oh well, he's just talking like you can
Yeah.
just get up and go. No, you're gonna have those tough times. You're gonna have those times where it's difficult. But I get what you. No, that's
it's very much so is difficult. Like I struggle with it too. Like I was saying,
Yeah.
like I just sometimes there's days like I don't even want to do it. Like,
yeah.
I started doing this thing like I want to start appreciating things, and I try to block out 15 minutes, and it's like I've only done the longest I've done is 4 days straight, and it's just like it's hard. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like I could use these 15 minutes doing something else.
Mm.
I don't need to be grateful. Like and as, I really don't need to. Like I can just continue without my day, and I'll be totally fine.
Right.
But when I do it, I feel so much better. And whenever you stack it, I noticed like 2 days in, I was like, dude, I feel great. Like I was happy throughout the day. I was like looking at things.
Yeah.
Like throughout the day, I was just like vibing. I was like, dude, I'm so happy I'm at work. Like it was just like little things. And then it was like the third day was a little bit stronger, and then the fourth day was a little bit stronger. And then it's just like I was just like, all right, cool. Like you kind of just like self sabotage because you get comfortable within yourself, and then when you start growing to another level, you're like you're scared. Like we're kind of scared of change. Like change is scary, and especially like if it's something that we're not fully comfortable in. And change, I don't know for me, but like personal growth, like in a way it scares me because it's like I'm comfortable at this level, but I could be somewhere else. But at that next level brings different challenges, and I don't know if I'm ready to take on those challenges. So in a way, like personal growth does scare me, but it's like you just have to appreciate it, and it's a lot easier to self sabotage than it is like constant work on yourself. Because it's like sometimes like I'll put on podcasts that are like self growth, and it's like, dude, this is boring. Like I want to be listening to music, and like sometimes I do. Like I'll put music on, I'll just be vibing in my car, vibing whatever I'm doing. But you have to take that time to work on yourself because like it takes time to work on yourself. Like Rome or like anything that was massive and strong and like beautiful wasn't built overnight. It took time, and it was the process. Probably wasn't fun. You know what I mean? So it takes time to get to the end process. Having that patience within yourself for sure.
But you put the work in, and it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
All right. So for a teacher who's out there listening, who's looking to grow, what is the best piece of advice you have for that teacher? How can they be a better teacher?
I would definitely say start with yourself. Like start loving yourself because maybe you are loving yourself, but you're not loving yourself to the full potential. You should be giving yourself the utmost. Treat yourself like a goddess, like a god, a king, a queen. You know, like you need to treat yourself at the highest because you're giving yourself to these basically the future. You know what I mean? Like we are the future, and the kids you're teaching are the future. And you need to give yourself the highest to them. So forget about teaching. Like worry about yourself. Like focus on yourself. Focus, pamper yourself. Go get a haircut. Maybe haircuts are expensive. I'm not even gonna lie. Like pampering yourself is kind of expensive. So and that I totally understand if you can't do that because I be getting a haircut. I'm like, I don't need a haircut. I don't need one. Like I'll just get it next month. But like it doesn't even need to be like taking care of yourself like financially. Like there's things you can do that don't cost money. You can go outside and just sit in nature for like 10 minutes and just listen to the birds, listen to the clouds, listen to the car and get annoyed because it's disrupting your peace that you're supposed to be having. You know, like just being. There's things that you can do for yourself that doesn't cost a lot. You could have like just time for yourself. You could write. Writing is really fun. You don't even have to write about your emotions. Write about whatever you want. Draw. Just do something for yourself. You know what I mean? Take care of yourself. And then once you start taking care of yourself, I feel like you should definitely work on your mindset because you're in an industry where you're teaching people who, one, maybe they don't want to learn or they have way bigger problems that they can't even wrap their head around. Like learning, they have big problems. So I definitely would say work on yourself. Like that kind of falls into like loving yourself, but I feel like this is like a whole different topic. Like you need to constantly feed your mind. You got to stand guard at the gate of your mind because if you just let everything that those kids tell you, your employees tell you, your higher ups, it's definitely going to bring you down. So I would say take care of yourself and work on yourself. They kind of fall into the same thing, but they're different. If that makes sense. And I would say just be you. Just be you. Be your true self.
Yeah, that's good, man. I like that. Whoa. What do you think? What do you think is the most important thing for a student to learn?
I think the most important thing for a student to learn would be to learn. Like they need to learn how to learn, if that makes sense. Like everyone learns differently,
Yeah.
and you need to learn that because I feel like in the way like in bigger schools they push it like everyone has to learn a certain way, and it's not like that. You probably learn a completely different way. I learn it all it varies from person to person. Like there's similar ways we might learn like similarly, but it's not like the same. You know what I mean? Like we're all different. It all varies from our household. So maybe you can chunk up these people and be like, this race all learns this way better. But it doesn't mean like you can just all group them out because there might be like 10 of them out of the 20 people that learn differently. They just learn a little bit better that way. So learn out what your learning style is because learning out of school is I feel like it really matters. Like math matters. Like I use math. I work in construction. I use math all the time. I'm not gonna lie. I be in work, I be trying to figure stuff out, and I be like, I need to call Mr. FedEx. Like, I be so lost on the calculator on these numbers. Yeah. But I would definitely say like learn how to learn.
Learn how to learn. That's cool. Yeah, learn how to learn. I think it's important. I know as teachers we're pushed to learn how the students learn and we're supposed to meet every student's need and it is a difficult thing to do if you have a class full of 30 even 20 kids. It's difficult, like as if
I feel like just one person.
Well, that's the thing. Like if every single one of those students has a different way to learn, like it's tough, man. It is tough to be a teacher and try to teach to everybody's needs, and it's important. I'm not saying it's not important, but it's. I think a lot more of our time and focus needs to be into how do we teach to meet that need, and not. But I mean, so here's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Is that we're told to differentiate, is what they call it in the education world, differentiate instruction, and make the topic that you got to basically meet the student where they're at.
Yeah.
Teach them all what they need to learn, the same content because you're required to teach them, but you got to meet them where they're at. So you got to, I got to, scaffold it a way that's going to meet your need and do it to another way to meet the other kid's need.
Yeah.
But how are you all assessed? The same freaking way.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense to me. Why am I meeting all your needs, but you're all going to be assessed the exact same way?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to have to differentiate, why don't we differentiate how we assess if they?
I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I think they do actually put out different tests. Because one time I tried copying on the star, and it was not right.
No, I'm not talking about they can change up the questions. I'm talking about. How are we? Come get it. They're gonna strip away your diploma. Like, you're gonna lose it. Oh man.
I didn't copy them because they had a different taste.
I'm talking about how are they gonna say no? You didn't learn it because you didn't pass that test.
Oh yeah.
But
some people have like testing anxiety.
Right, and everybody, some people do get like a modification or accommodations on their testing. So it may be, maybe they get certain things that are going to help, meet them where they need to be. But as far as actual assessment, some people have test anxiety. Some people don't do well in a quiet environment. Some people, whatever it is, like if we're going to allow for waste of teaching to be different, like why can't I have a project for you where you can create me something that requires the content that you need to know, and if you make it, that tells me you know the content. Maybe you're a builder. Maybe that's how you learn, by building stuff, or that's how you show what you've learned. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I'm just thinking. I'm just, it's just like make it make sense. Like if we're gonna meet everybody's needs and have it different.
If they're making like y'all meet their needs, why can't they meet their needs?
With the assessment, right? Like how are we gonna? Anyways, but I'm just one teacher talking here. So, anyways, I think you hit everything I kind of wanted to ask you. Is there any questions you have for me?
Cool, definitely. So what would you say as like a 19-year-old? What would give me some advice as a 19-year-old? Not like you as a 19-year-old. It's you like your current life, but like giving a 19.
What advice would I give to you right now?
Yeah.
And your mindset, again, I mentioned this before. Your mindset right now is just you're gonna go so far in life with that kind of mindset. The mindset of willing to grow, wanting to grow, taking care of yourself, taking care of others, spreading love. That's gonna take you far. It may not, I don't think people value enough how much a compliment can go a long way. How much
Definitely.
making somebody feel good can go a long way. You could be that person's reason for smiling. That's the only thing that made them smile today.
I used to, when I had my CBD shop, I stopped doing, I did it at the beginning and then I stopped doing it, and then at the end I started doing it again. I was frescas, and then at the back I would print out like a compliment, or like it was a unique, deep compliment,
Yeah.
but they were all like, I just had like 10 of them, and then there were stickers, and I'd throw them on. I didn't have no specific order, I kind of just threw them on there, but they were, if you got multiple, you got different compliments, and sometimes there would be people in there that they would go and they buy multiple, like they just buy in bulk and then they go home and they drink them.
Yeah.
So they'd get them, and I had one person they bought in bulk, and when I first started doing it, they didn't like shop with me, so they didn't know about them. And when they started coming back, like when they originally came to me, I didn't put the stickers on anymore because it was just a lot of time consuming. I just didn't make time for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, like the last month before I closed, I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna start doing that again. I technically didn't know I was gonna close when I first started it.
Yeah.
When I first started doing it, but I was like, I'm just gonna start doing it again. And I started doing it. Someone came in and bought it in bulk, and they were like, hey, I got all your notes. What? And they were like, I got all your notes. And I'd also put a note in the bag, like it was kind of like a thank you note, like I tell them thank you for their business.
Yeah.
But it was also like telling them, like, kind of in a way, it's like a referral, like asking them, hey, if you were satisfied with your shopping experiments, tell like your friends about me.
Yeah.
And I just thought he was talking about that note because I gave him a bag because he got
Yeah.
drinks and he also got some other stuff. So I was like, okay. I was like, oh, that's good. I'm glad you liked it. And he was like, it really changed my life. I was like so confused. I was like, what is he talking about? I was not that deep on the note. Like I just said thank you. Like I said like my phrase that I would say with my CBD shop. I was like, stay hemp, stay chill, live with passion, much love, midway vibes. And I was like, and then I like went to my shop and I like read the paper and I was like, there's no way like, this changed his life. And he was like, I was like, what are you talking about? Because I wanted to know what he was talking about. And he was like, I'm talking about the notes on your drinks. He was like, you gave me all these compliments, you made me feel good. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like that was my original goal. And I was like, I don't know why I ever stopped doing that.
Man. So, I mean, my advice for you,
Yeah.
You personally.
Personally and overall, just
okay. For you personally, keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding. You know, you 19 years old, you're already experiencing different fields. You're finding yourself. Your biggest thing is growing, and as a 19-year-old, that's incredible. Because most 19-year-olds are probably not focusing on how they can grow as a person. They're focusing on a lot of other things, and so you're ahead of the game. I think you just keep on loving life, keep on finding the value in the little things, and spreading that awareness. Doing the classes, whatever. Keep connecting with people. I think people need to be connected to you. I'm glad I'm connected to you.
Yeah. Glad I'm connected to you.
Yeah. So that's for you. Just keep on going, man. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on growing and keep inspiring. And I told you that. I told you that when you graduated. When your mom made the video, and I sent my little clip in of what I was saying.
As a matter of fact, do you have that link? I've been looking for it for like 2 weeks already.
The link.
Yeah, because there was like a bunch of people that made a video.
Oh,
I've been looking for that video for like I don't know where
did
it's
she post
at.
it? I didn't know
yeah,
she posted
it on YouTube. It was a private link.
Oh, I didn't.
I was wondering maybe you had the link.
I don't think she sent it to me. I don't think she sent it to me.
She sent it to me when I graduated, but that was. It wasn't a long time ago, but through text messages. It was a long time ago.
I don't know. You'd have to ask. I didn't even know if there was a link to that.
Oh, yeah, I should just ask her, right? She would probably have it.
She might have it. Yeah, man. But anyways, in that video, because this is back when the last time I spoke to you, you were saying you're probably going to pursue a career in coaching and education. I told you how great you would be in that career because you inspire people. But I told you in that video because as a young person, your mind can change, what you want to do. And I told you, no matter what it is you're going to do, just keep being you, keep inspiring people because you can do that in different fields. It doesn't necessarily have to be, in education, so it's cool, man. Whatever it is, I think people leave you better than before they interacted with you. I think people leave better. It kind of goes to that old saying, like, leave something better than you found it. Yeah. And so that's pretty cool.
By Inky Johnson.
Yeah. So, yeah. Nice there you go. So, and as far as for overall advice, is through every obstacle, and actually I heard Steve Harvey say this, is that through every obstacle, there's a lesson and there's a blessing. Yeah. So keep that in mind throughout whatever it is you experience in life. Keep others around you and aware of anything that you have going on. don't be afraid. And Caleb Dinsman brought this up last time. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid, to seek others who may have gone through something you've gone through, and you can lean on them. Lean on me, right? I'm no singer,
like
but
it's like that, like Bubba, like with Forrest Gump and Bubba, and they're like in the mud. You're like, you lean on me, and I lean on you, so we'll get in the mud.
Yeah, man. Like, surround yourself with people who make you better. Yeah. Because at your age in life right now, there's a lot of people who can make you worse. So, surround yourself with people who can make you better, and just keep growing, man. Keep growing. But as a 19-year-old, don't be afraid to have some fun. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I've been
tripping. But no, I mean, you're allowed to make mistakes. Now, don't do anything crazy, but I mean, you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed, it's part of growing. It's, how can you grow if you're, perfect? Nobody's perfect, right? We all have mistakes. We all do things wrong. We all mess up. We all slip up. So don't be afraid to ask for help in those moments. Don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever feel ashamed. Like, we can grow out of it. You can grow out of something. You can be better. But I think as a 19-year-old, what I wish I would have had most is somebody around me who could pick me up when I was down. Somebody around me who can help me when I'm experiencing something, or when I wanted to make a change. I wish I had you as my best friend at 19 years old, so that I could grow with you, because I needed it. I need it now. And I'm 10 years past that point. Had I had it back then, who knows, what kind of life I'd be living right now. But everything happens for a reason. Yeah. But
it's not too late to change.
Why do you think? I'm not. This probably would have came off bad, but
no.
You're in my life for a reason, right? Yeah. I connect with you for a reason. I hit you up for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like we're just doing this out of the blue. Like, you and I text pretty often, and we talk on the phone and this and that. So, it's because I'm surrounding myself with the people I want to inspire me, people I know who can pick me up. Yeah. You're 10 years younger, and you do that for me. So I'm gonna keep you close, man, because I need that.
You're the same way. I definitely look up to you. I learn from you, like, every time we talk. So it's like, I definitely look forward to, like, I don't want to lose our connection. I look forward to having our connection to continue going.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Sir. Yeah, so that's what I got then for your question. So
cool. So I got two more.
Okay.
So what is something that you think, like, is a strength of mine that I could strengthen, that I could, like, make better, since it's already something, but, like, I can not, like, in a way make it my expertise? Okay. And what's one of my weaknesses that I can make stronger?
I mean, your strength is obviously your mindset. Your strength is your mindset. But you have many strengths. So your strongest strength, I mean, possibly your mindset, or possibly the way you connect with people. It could either one. It's a toss up between those two. So as far as working on it, you're already doing that. To keep doing what you're doing, I think. I honestly, I look at you and I evaluate what you're doing. I don't know. I can say that you have a weakness. I'm sure you probably have something in mind, but from my level with you, I don't see any weaknesses. I think you're well-rounded. I think you, I think you have a good perspective of the people around you, the people you interact with. I don't think you bite off more than you can chew. I don't think you take I don't think you take anything too far. Like, as far as words that come at you, I don't think you think too mighty of them or think too little of them. You know what I mean? I think you have a pretty good idea of what you want in life. And I think you're well-rounded in all the areas that you need to be to get where you're going. So as far as weaknesses, I personally do not see any weaknesses. If there's a weakness that you think you have that you want to mention that I can speak on, but as far as I know, I think you're doing great. I think you have a lot of strengths, and I think again, your mindset's going to take you far. You're going to soar. But is there something do you have something in mind that you're thinking right now, or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I got a lot of things in mind. Matter of fact, no, it's just like little things, and like once I know, because I've said them out loud to myself. So like once I say them out loud, I'm like, dude, you're tripping. Like, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like everything. Like, I feel like I need to be like at another level, but at the same time, I like I was saying, like I self-sabotage myself. So I like be doing good, and I'd be like, nah, like I get in my own way, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's really just that. Like, I feel like I get in my own way for sure. Yeah, I feel like overall, like, there's just like something I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
In like every aspect of life, like whether it's through like my health or like my like connection with people or like my connections with myself or like my course. Like that would be like sometimes I'm like going super hard. I'm like going super hard. Like everything's going pretty good, and like just out of nowhere, I just be like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just gonna chill today. And then like it's cool, but then like midday, I'm like, dude, I just wasted all of my morning not doing nothing.
And see, that's why I go back to your strength is your mindset, because you know most people can go through and not even something so serious. Most people can go through it and not have any sense of shame or sense of, dang, I missed out on that. You know what I mean? And you're doing it over a lot less, you know, in some ways, like in some manners. So I think consistency is key with anything that you want to be good at, right? I think you have more than enough consistency. I think you need to take some of your own advice in the fact that it's okay. It's okay to take care of yourself, right? It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to give yourself a break, a day off, right? Even if that may not be everything that the course says you need to do or whatever. I do believe in, you know, self-care, you know, a mental break. And sometimes it's not, you know, just going off the routine for a day or two. Like, that's okay to do, right? As a 19-year-old who's focused on growing and getting better, like I said a minute ago, it's okay to, you know, slip up. It's okay to have a setback. It's okay to have some fun where you're not just so driven. Like, stay driven, but give yourself a break. Like you said for the teachers, right? Self-love, self-care. You got to do the same thing, right? So don't be afraid to kind of do that. And I get you might feel guilty about it or whatever, but you know, how can you again give your best if you're not your best?
I don't know. I feel like I totally agree with everything you said. I agree, but it's just like I feel like I'm at a point where I'm like the happiest I've been, the most successful I've been, but at the same time, I'm the least happiest with myself because like I know. Not that I know that I could do more, because I know that I'm doing the most that I can, but I feel like where I'm at in life is nowhere where I picture myself. And like I kind of did this activity within myself, like you like tell yourself what you're doing and like the thoughts you're telling yourself, and then you like do it for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 15 years. And, like where's your life going to be when you continue telling yourself this story? But like it's not so much a story; it's like where my actual life is happening. Like I'm like literally, I'm like taking a situation that I'm going through right now, and I'm turning it into the next 5 years. 10 years and 20 years and so forth. And I'm like, I don't want to do this for the next, like, I don't even want to do this for the next, like, year. I can't even imagine doing this the rest of my life. So I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm the happiest and the most successful I've ever felt or ever been. But at the same time, I feel so unfulfilled and so happy within myself. You know what I mean? Just because, like I'm, like, I like, want to get off the ground, just, like, helping people. But I know, like, what I need to do. Like, I don't know, like, I need more for myself before I can do it, but it's like I just feel so trapped, if that makes sense.
I think you gotta have I think, you know, I don't want to set the bar low, but I think your level of expectation is where it's at. It's gonna set expectations that are, and it's not bad to dream. It's not bad to have high expectations. It's good because it pushes you more. But at the same, here's a better way. Let me put it this way. Celebrate the small victories. This is something I tell myself in the first year teaching. I was sitting in a room full of a bunch of first-year teachers, and they asked, what is one piece of advice we can give to other first-year teachers? And I said, celebrate the small victories. Because in that year of teaching, I felt like I was drowning in the sea. And there was no coming out. Right?
So
but seriously, it's like, what good can come out of it? So it's like, you got to celebrate the small things. Celebrate that kid that, you know, you at least connected with today. You know, maybe they didn't learn a lick of the math, but they connected with you, right? So I think you got to celebrate those small victories. Like, maybe you're not where you thought you'd be, or maybe you want to go higher, but you're self-contained right now, right? So you're trapped. You're like, so you got to find a way to be okay with that. Like, this is where I'm at, and that's okay. Right? I have these higher expectations, and I'm going to get there. I'm pretty sure Tony Robbins might mention something like this. It's not going to happen overnight, right?
Yeah.
But think about what you can do in a year from now, or 2 years from now, right? It's not going to be, or immediately impact. No, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like that's what I'm telling about. Like, it takes time. And it's like, it's a lot hard. Like, in other situations, like, I was in it and I was like, dude, I'm never going to get through this.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know when I'm going to get through this.
Yeah.
But it was like, I would tell myself, like, it's okay. Like, you made it through the first month. And then after I made it through the first month, I was like, you made it through the second month.
Yeah.
You're still good. Like, the end is close. Like, you just got to, like, keep going. Like, I knew the light was there. I just didn't know how far I was. And then it was like, that was the first struggle I had, like, I guess, like, once I started working on my mindset. And it was just, like, I just continued telling myself, like, there's a lesson and a lesson, like, through everything. And, like, I wasn't telling myself that exact way.
Right,
it was
right.
basically that kind of, like, way I was processing it. And it was, like, I made it through. I feel like just, like, a couple months ago, I, like, made it through that little challenge I was going through. I was like, dude, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
But then, like, this challenge, like, it's something that's been ongoing. But I guess now that it's more, like, a reality for my life, like, it's a lot harder to process. And it's kind of just, like, I don't know. Like, it's hard, if that makes sense.
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah, tell me.
I haven't told the story to many people. I remember.
I like those words.
I remember there's only one group of students that I told the story to, and it was the first graduating class I had when I was teaching at Prairie Lee. So shout out to those seniors. And I told them, all year long, I was drilling in their head, it's going to be all right. And I don't know if they knew I had a story behind it. I don't know if I knew I had a story behind it. But eventually it turned into a story behind it. And all year long, it's going to be all right. We're doing pre-cal. They're like struggling. It's my first year as their teacher. My first year teaching pre-cal. So we struggled together. And it was like, no matter what, it's going to be all right. I just so happened to be their class sponsor. So graduation, we're there.
Yeah.
They're in my room getting cap and gown ready. And I told them all year, I was like, don't worry, at the end of the year, we're going to graduate. I'm going to tell you the story. And I don't know why I was so confident that I had a story, because at that point I didn't have a story. And they don't know that. So they're hearing this. They know now. But I walk into that room. Now, granted, this is also the year I lost my brother. Okay? So I walk into that room shaky, nervous as heck. I've taught them in this room all year long. I've never been this nervous and shaky to talk to a group of students, especially my own. And I'm sitting there. I'm standing there. I'm just looking at them all. All right, guys, it's time to hear the story. It's going to be all right story. And I love them because I'm forever embedded in that school, because they put my quote on their senior tile, and I'm up there on that roof with my quote, my signature. So I love them for that. I went in there and I told them, so look, the reason I drill this so hard into your head is because I'm living proof it's going to be all right. When I was in college, it took me 5 years to graduate college. Most people probably about 4, but some people do 5. So the reason was, my first year, I went to UT. And my second semester, Calculus 2, it's my most basic math class. As a math teacher, I'm going to take many more math courses after this. And I'm freaking drowning in Calculus 2. I dropped a course. My second semester as a college student, I had to use one of my drop courses. You only have 6 of these courses where you can drop at a certain point. You can only drop 6 of them at a certain point. I had to use 2 already my freshman year. Feeling like a failure. Transferring to Texas State. No, that's not me. So I go to Texas State. I take calculus again. My first semester. Technically my sophomore year. I failed the course. I didn't drop it. I failed it. Stayed with through it. Failed it. Okay. Well, then I think next semester, okay, I'm gonna do my thing again. Put on academic probation. So I no longer am getting financial aid. I can't afford college. Technically, I guess I dropped out. I say I took a semester off. Took that next semester off. My second semester of my sophomore year. Take it off. And I remember when I was trying to register, and I didn't even know. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know anything about college. Nobody in my family really went to college or anything like that. So I find out I'm on academic probation, and then I don't get financial aid. I can't afford to take a class. So I'm like, crap, what am I going to do? All this time I'm feeling shame and guilt. Like, how am I going to tell my old teachers? At this point, I was working as a tutor at San Marcos High, like going back to my old school. Like, I felt so shameful, man. I got in one of my deepest holes that I got into. So I was like, okay. And I cried about it when I was registering. I couldn't register for the class. And I was like, all right, gotta keep going. So pick up a job, I'm working a job, making money, save up. And I had a good buddy of mine who invested in me to help me pay for this one course. So the next semester comes up. I can only afford one course with his help and me saving up some money. And what do you think I signed up for? Calculus, right?
Yeah.
Haven't passed it, taken it twice, failed it once, dropped it once. Take this course. I'm a freaking math teacher. I can't pass calculus too. People are like, why are we hiring this dude, right? But I pass it with an A.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history. I go on, obviously I get my math degree and I'm a math teacher, right? But at that point in my life, I didn't think I would ever be in a situation as a 20-year-old who's going to be a math teacher. I had to tell myself it's going to be all right. Because if not, who knows what would happen. I would have never been having this conversation with you. So somehow, some way, I managed, right? Being a future math teacher, failing his second math course in college. What does that do to your confidence? I'm shaky, right? I'm not confident. Okay, so I'm telling them the story, and I'm telling you the story now, but I'm telling you the story of how I told them the story.
You just told the whole world now.
And it's gonna and I had to keep going with that. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I go on, like I said, the rest is history. I become a math teacher, so obviously I did it, right? Well, then my third year teaching, first year there, in March, go through the toughest loss I ever had to go through in my life, toughest personal experience, and happened right around spring break. So took the whole week off before spring break. And then I had the whole week after off. And I had to come back, because I couldn't take more days. In fact, I lost money because I took too many days off. And when you start taking too many days off, you lose money. So, cost me some money there. But anyways, I come to school, and I am not the person. I'm a shell of the person I once was. Because I don't know who I am. I'm going through this. And granted, I'm 24, 25 years old, so, grown man or whatever. But my life was never the same after that. My brother was not only my brother. He was one of my closest friends. We hung out just about every weekend and stuff like that. So to have that lose such a big piece of me at that time, and I had to come back and teach these students all these courses, go through all this struggle again with this on my heart. Hardest thing I've had to do. Yeah. So I'm telling them, like, the only thing that got me through it was that I had to keep telling myself it's gonna be all right. Right? Did I really know at the moment? Hell no, man. But if I had any other mindset, I wouldn't have gotten through it. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have lasted there. I wouldn't have anything. And there was a bunch of reasons, a bunch of things that happen throughout your life that you can easily throw in the towel. I could have easily, no, this is it. I'm done. I can't keep going. Right? So I told them this story because I said, it doesn't matter how bad it looks. It doesn't matter what it is you're going through. I was threatening my career as a math teacher. I didn't think I was, I could have possibly not become a math teacher, which is what I was going to school for. Yeah. Right? And, losing somebody so close to you. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, like, no matter what it is you're going through, you got to keep telling yourself that have that mindset. And it goes back to your thing. Yeah, it's simple to do. It's simple to tell yourself it's going to be all right. Doesn't mean it's easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a battle. You're going to struggle. But if you have that mindset, I promise you'll get there. It doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you finish the race. So,
it's like that quote from Steve Harvey. Have you heard it? It's like he says, like, if you're going through hell, like, why would you stop and keep going?
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah, man. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
definitely. It was an amazing conversation. I don't think I have any more questions.
That's it. That's all you got. Okay, cool. You
have any more questions for me?
No, I mean, that was it. I think we're getting a good direction of what we want to do and what we're hearing here. And I say we, and I'm talking about me, but I'm talking about you too. I'm talking about, Densman and the future students I'm going to have on here. And I'm excited where we're going. I think it's really important for, personal growth, right? Professional growth. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm doing this. How can I be a better teacher to the students I have now? Yeah. How can I better meet their needs? And how can I believe that I can, even though it's going to be a struggle? It's going to be a struggle. And that's the hardest part. So, but no, that's why we're doing this. That's why we have you here. That's why we're interviewing, my students and learning not only how I can grow, but how can other teachers out there grow, and just keep them hopeful, keep them mindful. I think a lot of teachers right now are struggling and they're overwhelmed. And, so more power to you if you're struggling through it. It's gonna be all right. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's gonna be easy, but that mindset, right? So no, I mean, hey, it's been freaking wonderful, man. This is the third podcast I've done with you now. The first one that you're on mine, but this has been. It's a beautiful thing. I think you started a beautiful thing here. Shout out to all y'all who are watching and really diving in deep. I know these are long conversations, but
it's worth it.
This is some great stuff. I think
I'd say do it during your net time, as in no extra time, as in when you're driving, you're washing dishes, you're in the shower. You don't got extra time, but you can passively listen.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I have a buddy of mine who supported me, and I don't think he's watched the first episode fully yet, but he's caught glimpses of it, and that's what it's about. Right?
That was my thing first. Like, I tried watching yours for like 2 days, and I was only getting like little pieces.
Yeah.
And then finally, I was able to get like the full thing, like everything from start to end, like all in one go. And I personally enjoy listening to things like all from one go. So like if I had to like chunk it up, like I'd rather just start over.
Yeah.
Like, I knew I was like I'm gonna be going to Austin. I'm gonna have enough time. I'm gonna start from like start to finish. And then I got it in. I was like, that was nice.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, so I appreciate you joining in and listening to him. Go follow him. Go. He has some great stuff. Obviously, you can tell from the conversation we had. But it's just been really fun, man. And I really appreciate you, and I thank you for just inviting me to be on your podcast in the first place. And that's what really got the ball rolling here. And I think we're on to something good here with the student section. And I'm gonna keep. I don't know how long it's gonna go. Right? That's the beautiful thing about it. It's like, how far can we go? But let's try to reach as many people as we can. And even if it's just one, like, I don't care. If I only have one view, and it's just me watching it on my phone.
On a different account. I'll be doing that. I'll be my first life.
Hell yeah. You gotta support yourself, baby. You gotta support yourself or somebody else to.
Sometimes I'll be the one and only life.
Hey, right? Come on, man.
But it's cool though, because I know one day it's gonna like someone else is gonna reach it. It may not be like right now or next week or next month, but within the year or within 2 years, it'll reach someone. And it'll
nothing else, it's going to serve as an archive to what I was trying to do as a teacher, at least I hope. And, just give you some insight to the mind of Mr. P and his students. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. I think teachers don't always get to do exactly what they want to do. And so this is cool because I get to do exactly what I want to do. I get to find out more, find out how I can grow, connect deeper with my students. And I do it for that too, because you said, you wanted to look up some of your teachers. You can't find them anywhere, right? So if any of my students are out there, you listen to this. Maybe
matter of fact, we did our podcast, someone, I don't even know who it is, commented under it.
And
they're like, is that Mr. P? And I was like, you saw it before I saw it. But I was like, dude, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it before you. You shared it to me. Yeah. I went, and I'm pretty sure it was. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know. But Isaac. I mean, that was his account, right? That was his account. I'm not saying his last name, but
I think you just said.
Yeah, I know. Like, dude, you just said what you said he would have. But I'm pretty sure I know who it was. I'm pretty sure it was him. I did reply to the comment. Unfortunately, I never heard back. So if you're out there, man, if you're listening, man, hit me up. I would love to get him on the podcast. There's a lot of people I want to get on here. And, there's another student I've talked to you about that I'm hoping I can eventually get him there too. But I just want to reach, not only my former students, my current students, whatever. Like, it's just cool to kind of see where you're at. Like, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, you don't have to prove anything to me. Yeah. I just want to see that you're doing well. I just want to see that you're loving your life. And if you're not, let's get you to start loving it. Yeah. Let's go. You don't need to do we don't need anything. No dog and pony show. I just want you to be happy. That's all I care about, man. That's what I want for all my students, past, future, and present. Whether you enjoyed your time with me or not, or you enjoy your time with me or not in the future. That's all I wish for all my students. It's a life they love.
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was an amazing conversation.
Yes, sir. Always.
Go hit that subscribe button. Go hit that like button. You already know. Go check this guy out. Stay with him because you're going to grow massively if you stay with him. So, appreciate you guys.
Likewise. Thank you. Let's go. I'll never leave you hanging, baby. Let's go.